When was the last time you knew that you were right in a conversation and yet you had to be patient enough to get the right outcome? We are coming to you today live, Andrea Ferry, Daniels, Nicole Kramer, for Nicole to share about her story in the post office, shipping the books and role play cards for her upcoming certification, and her conversation with the postal worker about media mail. Nicole, the floor is yours, and then I will debrief. Go for it.
So to answer your question, Andrea, when was the last time you knew you were right? It happened very recently when I was shipping some of the role play cards and workbooks for our certification. As you know, we've ran like 5 certifications now. And when we ship things, because they are workbook and educational materials, we can ship them media mail. That might not mean anything to anybody listening, but it's a certain way to send things that is like a fraction of the cost if you're sending educational materials. So a couple days ago, I go into the post office. It's 4:53 p.m. and the post office closes at 5. So I am definitely that person in that moment. And I was the only one in there. And the woman behind the counter saw that I had 5 packages, and I could feel a little bit of tension right there. I'm sure she's had a long day and she's ready to get out. And she starts taking all my packages. They're all labeled, ready to go. And she tapes the first one because they don't stay closed very well. And she starts putting in the labels, and I see that it's like $14 and $15. And I'm like, oh, well, that's the regular first class postage. She doesn't know that this is media mail because I didn't tell her. So I said, oh, by the way, these are all media mail. And she didn't say anything, and she just glared at me. She said, what's in them? And I was like, oh, it's books and role play cards. She goes, and that's why it's not media mail. And I was like, oh. And I was confused in that moment because educational materials thought was always media mail. So where Andrea and I were talking earlier about this is there was a version of me in that moment that was like, I know I am right, and I want to prove that I am right. But I realized in that moment, whatever kind of day she had, I could feel it in her energy, and that was not going to go over well if I met her with more fire. And for as long as I've been studying this work and doing this work, and as many people as we've taken people through this experience, it still comes up in areas of our life where it's hard to pause, to slow down, to stay curious, especially when it gets emotional. So that's where I found myself. And I said, oh, so it's not educational materials? She said, not the role play cards. And I said, oh, well, I've always done it that way before. She goes, I guess you got lucky then, didn't you? So again, I'm feeling like, okay, I don't know what kind of day she's had, but I'm kind of feeling it. And I also know I don't want to pay $10 or $11 more than what I have to. So how do I, right? Both, like, I don't want to irritate her. I'm not here to create more friction, but also why I'm going to send 5 packages. Why should I pay $50 more when I know that I can ship it the other way? So I'm thinking, okay, how do I slow down? How do I stay curious? How do I be nice? Right. And I just kind of slyly started looking up on my phone what qualifies as media mail. And when I asked her, I said, what do you think it was that allowed me to do it before? And she said, I guess they didn't check your envelopes, but as soon as you mark it media mail, we can open it and see what's in it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm okay if you want to open it and look at it, because I think it's what you're telling me, that it's educational materials, not the role play cards. I was like, okay. So it kind of kept going on like this. It was very tense. And she got to all 5 of them being done. And I said, would it help if I shared with you how I learned that this could be media mail? And right then and there, one of the envelopes opened because she hadn't taped any of the rest of them. And she could see when it opened that there was a set. It wasn't just like random things that I had thrown in there and I was calling media mail. It was literally a set of the workbook and the role play cards. I said, did those look like what would classify as an educational set, or is there a way I need to see it differently? Well, I felt like I was staying calm. She stayed calm. She didn't say much after that, but she redid every single package, and I thanked her profusely. She also taped the rest of the packages for me. And there was no, again, I wasn't trying to like turn her around and put her in a good mood. I just wasn't trying to create any more friction, but I knew it was really tough in that moment because I was in an emotional moment and I had to pause. I had to slow things down. And I thought, how can I still get the outcome that I want without being a nuisance or a pain in the butt to this woman, because she's not trying to go out of her way in this moment. So that was the story I shared with Andrea, which oddly enough came up because she mailed some of our things too and didn't get to do media mail. So it's become a thing.
We had when I was in the post office, there was a line behind me. The person at the desk was a rule follower. And this was separate. This wasn't exactly what a safe package is. And he is someone who follows things to the letter. And I had not looked up media mail and knew the true definition or knew to say that they're a matching package. I wanted to be respectful of what this person saw as media mail. So I kind of took one for the team there. Now I know differently before going into places, spending money and, doing my research. That was just, it's sometimes that, pick your battles. And that was not a battle I had to pick, but Nicole was like, actually, you can do media mail. Not knowing this story, I was like, well, this guy told me I couldn't. So now I know going in media mail, how I can do this situation differently, because we want to be mindful of expenses, when we have people going into certifications, of course, and other things. When we send mail as entrepreneurs, every dollar counts. But I think the message is here, oftentimes when we get heated in conversations, I personally see red. I mean, I get worked up because I'm in the moment. And I think oftentimes, and this is what I've learned through this work about, would you rather be right or get the right outcome, is I've learned to remove myself from the conversation and watch it happen and watch the other person go in emotional circles. And as high empath, 95% empathy score, when I watch the other person spiral in circles, in that moment, my natural being in alignment with myself is grace. It's like, this person's struggling and it has nothing to do with me. And it took me 40 plus years to get there. So I think with some of the work that we do, it's number one, can we slow down? It's not about being right. It's not about having, and being right in that situation. It's about getting the right outcome. And the right outcome is getting the packages mailed for a lower fee and save some money. And if you're just going to go, and Nicole, I'm not sure if she had shared this, her supervisor was standing right behind her. We don't know if she got in trouble at work. We don't know if she had looked the other way multiple times and they brought it to her attention. We don't know if she's had a day from heck and it's now 4:53. We don't know that. So in the spots, whether personally, professionally, leadership with your kids, how can you hit the timeout button and slow it down to come from curiosity and understanding before we literally fight fire with fire? Because even if Nicole was right or the postal worker was right and we fought fire with fire, one of them's going to walk away feeling poorly and feeling in a bad energy. And this is something that I just watched last night. Could have sent it to Nicole on Instagram. It's like you have 17 seconds where your moods can shift. And if you go from 17 to 17 to 17 and it 16. Magnifies on top of each other and it spirals, it can ruin your whole day. So it's like, how can you take every situation, see the gift in it, come from curiosity, realize it has nothing to do with you because people do things for their reasons, and take a step back at those tense moments. Because it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and look at that story from afar. But when you're in it, to have the patience to slow down, come from curiosity and realizing when someone could be being a jerk to you, it has nothing to do with you. That's hard. We're humans. We want to fight them. We want to win. I mean, we're competitive people. We're mammals. That's why we do it. So I would say this work has given us the opportunity to address this in a more slower, I won't say civilized, slower format to help people really learn to have better conversations. We are at the end of our time. Before our end, Nicole, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, I think I really appreciate how you saw that and shared from your angle, because I think it demonstrates what this work has helped us do, like that, those moments where you're like, and listen, everything around sales and business, it's all emotions. People are always making decisions with emotions. So when we know how to show up to emotional conversations, any type of emotional conversations, we can create more of the outcomes. Again, to Andrea's point, it's like, I don't know, do I stand here and just let this woman take her wrath out on me and pay $50 more? Do I pay $75 to mail the packages, or do I pay $20 to mail the, And so it was not as much about getting my way or being right, but in the past versions of me, that's what I would have wanted to do. But this is about showing up and pausing and being prepared to handle those emotional moments. And if that's an area that is an opportunity for you, then Andrea and I have something that we will happily go to the post office for you and mail
We'll go
you.
to bat for you.
We'll go to bat for you if you want to join us in our certification. Our first day is this week. And if you are looking for ways to get more of the outcome, not to be right, but get to the outcomes that you want, then invite us to go to the post office to send you your educational materials via media mail. We will be happy to do that.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Leave your comments, favorite takeaways. We'll talk to you soon. Hi, I'm Nicole Kramer.
And I'm Andrea Ferry Daniels.
And we are Exactly What to Say certified guides. And we are so thrilled to announce that we are coming back with an incredible program for you called Exactly What to Say. And the people that are perfect for this opportunity are professionals in their industry that are looking to up-level how they show up to the critical moments that matter in their life.
If you're interested in this program, the link is in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to Nicole or I directly through Instagram or phone call.
We'd love to see you there.